Hello, my fellow Go Horror besties. Today we're going to talk about McKamey Manor. I had posted up about it a few days ago, whether we should do a deep dive, and I did have some people that were interested in it. There isn't a whole lot to talk about on this one, so we're going to go into it, talk about it, and things like that with what we do know. For anybody that doesn't know about McKamey Manor, it's a Tennessee haunted house that is actually dubbed a torture chamber under disguise, and it is still operating to this day despite the owner being probed for traumatizing visitors and calls for sadistic experience to be permanently axed. It used to be in San Diego, but it was taken out of San Diego for many reasons and moved to Tennessee. So now it is McKamey Manor, and it's a controversial house of horrors in Summertown, which is about 70 miles southwest of Nashville. And for years, it has been dodged by complaints of violence, inhumane treatment against participants who are forced to sign a 40-page waiver just to enter. They have to go through physicals, background checks, sign the waiver, because it is just pure torture. So I'm going to play a video for you guys that's going to talk about it. It's about 3 minutes long, and then we will deep dive into everything that I know about McKamey Manor so that we can kind of talk about it. So we'll talk about it, and then again, as always, I would love to hear what you guys have to say. So let's get into this video.
Go. Jeff. You all right?
Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff, you good?
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Hi.
Now put us on. You just pass out. Don't pass out on me.
McKamey Manor. McKamey Manor is a haunted house located in Tennessee. Calling it a haunted house might be a little bit of an understatement though. I'd more or less call it a torture house, where people are allowed to get away with things that they normally wouldn't in a normal traditional haunted house. Today we're going to be diving deep into what McKamey Manor is, how it started, and some allegations that they're currently going through. And without further ado, let's hop into the video. Incentive. If you survive this haunted house, you win $20,000. It sounds kind of easy, right? Wrong. This is one of, if not the most extreme haunted house ever. And you can use that term lightly. Haunted house. I'd more or less call it a torture house, being so that these people are allowed to get away with pretty much whatever they want without killing you. When you first arrive to McKamey Manor, you have to sign a 40-page waiver, pretty much signing away all rights to let them do whatever they want to you. The only stipulation is they can't kill you. They can get you to the brink of death, leaving you with probably 1 or 2 more breaths left in the tank, but as long as they don't kill you, you signed up for it. Torture. Contestants who have gone through the manor have discussed that they've had their fingernails ripped off, their teeth pulled out, their heads shaved and being forced to eat their hair. Some people have also said they've been waterboarded, stuck inside of small freezers and cages, hung upside down for over 30 minutes, punched, kicked, slapped. They've had broken bones, fingers cut off, being forced to eat rotten food, having random strangers shove their hands to open your mouth and feeding you cockroaches. It just doesn't sound like something I would want to do. Location. This haunted house originated in California, until of course they were kicked out because they were doing such extreme things. They're now located in Tennessee, but the waitlist is so long it wouldn't even be worth it. There's a 10-year waitlist with over 25,000 people ahead of you. Good luck to those 25,000 people if they end up making it in. Owner. This is the owner, Russ McKamey, who disguises this torture house as a charity, which is why it's still open and how it's legal. He owns a couple of service dogs, and instead of taking money as donations, he takes dog food, which is how he's able to make his loophole around the government, having it be illegal. Charity. Trauma. A ton of people have discussed that it's been very hard for them to get back to their normal lives after going to the manor. Seems as though they're literally being tortured. This is cartel-like torture. All of the things I discussed before people have talked about. I can't imagine being waterboarded and then going to take a bath, or trying to go swimming, or having anything to do with water in general. It just doesn't sound like something you could pay me enough to do. Employees. The weird thing about McKamey Manor is they hire a lot of convicts, which normally would be fine, except some people that they hire are actually convicted rapists, which leads into the next topic. I just don't know how in good conscience you can hire people like this, knowing their history, and leaving them alone with people to pretty much do whatever they want. Allegations. There's a ton of different allegations going on against McKamey Manor. There's been a ton of different articles and women coming out about being SA'd when they go throughout this haunted house. They've also claimed to be injected with some type of drugs. It makes them very loopy, kind of like a sedative. Can you win? No one knows if it's truly possible to win McKamey Manor. The farthest someone ever got was 6 hours. He was a Navy SEAL. Supposedly while he was going throughout the haunted house, he was doing perfectly fine. He had no issues and didn't seem like he was going to stop until he won. When Russ noticed this, he decided to dunk him in and out of extremely cold water, then claimed that he had hypothermia and told him that he was disqualified because he didn't want him to die. Seems kind of convenient for someone who literally runs a torture house as a charity. In my personal opinion, I don't think it's possible for anyone to win. I don't think Russ wants to pay anyone any money. I think he just wants to have fun and torture people. Conclusion. I would never go to McKamey Manor. You couldn't pay me enough. Maybe go outside of it, but I would never go inside of it. There would never be an amount of money you could pay me to do it because I don't feel like being traumatized for the rest of my life for $20,000. A ton of people have also claimed that when you get to McKamey Manor, you get a safe word, but a lot of the employees don't actually listen to them. So when you're telling them your safe word and you want to stop, they don't actually stop and continue to go. How would you ever get out of McKamey Manor if they never wanted you to? If they're not listening to the safe word, which is the only way to keep you actually safe, if you decide to go to McKamey Manor and try and go through this haunted house, I think you'll be traumatized for the rest of your life.
So as you can see, there is a lot about McKamey Manor and things like that. I do agree with what he says. I personally, never. You will never catch me at McKamey Manor. Not gonna happen. And I would personally really love to know if that's something that you would be into, because according to what I was finding, there is over 27,000 people that are on the wait list to participate in McKamey Manor. And I just truly don't understand why you would want to participate in something like that. I wouldn't want my fingernails ripped off, my head shaved, to be waterboarded and all that stuff. Especially knowing that not a single person in over a decade has ever won $20,000. And I'm wondering if he even has the ability to pay $20,000. But I guess we'll never know. But I don't think anybody will ever finish McKamey, the 10 hours at McKamey Manor. Like you heard in the video, somebody was 6 hours in. He was doing really well, so Russ went out of his way and started waterboarding him, and then told him that he had hypothermia and he was disqualified. So what McKamey says is, in his own words, I quote, "This is a cross between Fear Factor, American Ninja Warrior, and every haunted house you can think of. Participants can endure up to 10 hours of what McKamey describes as psychological games. However, not every experience is the same for the Manor's guests." So as you can see in the slideshow that I have going on, those are real pictures of people that they're going through. They're bloody, they're beaten, they're toothless, they're missing their hair, they're spiders, they're crying, they're throwing up. Like, it's wild. So, McKamey Manor was created by Russ McKamey in 2005. McKamey Manor, it was just a small haunted house, but it evolved into a more extreme experience. So, like it said, it's not a typical haunted house. You have to sign an extensive waiver, and you actually also, besides going through physical, you have to go through a psychological evaluation. So, participants will encounter just terrifying characters. You'll be subjected to dark rooms, claustrophobic events, face scenarios that involve manipulation, physical restraints, even simulated torture. You'll be whipped, you'll be beaten, you'll be slapped, you'll be punched, you'll be kicked, you'll be bitten, you'll be things like that. And so every experience is tailored to an individual with specific fears and vulnerabilities, exploited to maximize the intensity of the encounter, because you let them know what you're afraid of, what you have, like, what scares you the most. So after they make sure that you're physically and mentally well, then they will let you go on. So there's been so much media coverage. It's been featured in various documents, news segments, highlighting the extreme horrors. So McKamey actually was suing Hulu for some of the controversies. He doesn't agree with what all of these documentaries say, so he likes to go after people and sue them. But not that I couldn't see anything that he's actually like won anything off of it. And I don't believe he makes any money off of this place. As you heard, he's got service animals and he just takes dog food as a payment. So how does he have the money to keep this running? I don't know. And it's faced so much criticism, but there's so many people that want to go through it. And so I just don't understand. I think it crosses extreme ethical boundaries, and it's not right. You are getting physically hurt. Why do they enjoy it? I'm good to go places like haunted houses, like here in Arizona, we have Fear Farm, 13th Floor. Like, I'm good with those places, but I could never go to a literal torture chamber. I could not be tortured. I stubbed my toe, and I'm probably crying for hours. Not really. That's a joke, but that does hurt. So McKamey Manor is still running to this day. He gets away with all this stuff because he says he served in the Navy, which contributed to his understanding of discipline and endurance on how to run this. And he has a long interest and passion in horror and entertainment, which led him to create McKamey Manor as a way to blend his passions and extreme experience. So McKamey does believe that pushing participants to their limits, both physically and psychologically, create a unique horror experience, which is why he personalized based on their fears. He does emphasize that safety is important, but then why does his team not care about your safe words? Why do they completely disregard all safe words? So it's been a huge controversy. People want to shut it down. They don't agree with it. It's pushing too much boundaries. And so on the website, though, they have this warning that I'm going to read to you guys. So it says on the website, be warned, McKamey Manor is not your standard boo haunted house. This is an audience participation event in which you will live your own horror movie. This is a rough, intense, and truly frightening experience. You must be in great health to participate. Last year's haunt was absolutely nothing compared to the new McKamey Manor. New for 2023, McKamey Manor presents Descent, the new evolution in interactive survival horror theater. Understand that each tour will be different based upon your personal fears and can last up to 6 hours. Each guest will be mentally and physically challenged until you reach your personal breaking point. Do not wear expensive clothing. Do not bring anything that cannot get wet. If anyone becomes rowdy, pushing, shoving, running, they will immediately be removed, no questions asked. Anyone that has been drinking alcohol or taking drugs will not allowed to be in the haunt, and you will be asked to leave. At check-in, you will be required to show your ID. The waiver process will last 2 hours. One performance only per week, year-round. Specific requirements must be met in order to take the tour. Think about an average 10 to 20 minute haunt or a theme park at Halloween and what you've experienced. Was it really interactive and scary? At the new McKamey Manor, you will experience thrills that you have never seen before. You will be tested to your very core. If things become too much, you can always quit. But it seems that from what a lot of the videos that I've heard, which you can go onto YouTube and you can see a lot of interviews of people that have gone through McKamey Manor, they make it really hard for you to quit. So back in 2017 is when McKamey Manor was forced to leave San Diego and they moved to Tennessee. Russ says that they moved it to Tennessee only because the cost of living was cheaper, the taxes were cheaper, and there's less public outcry for them to end it there, and he wanted a larger location. So I guess so that they actually opened up a secondary location in Alabama for participants who survived the Tennessee location. But I don't know how popular that one will be. If there's nobody that's ever finished the Tennessee location, how are they going to go to Alabama? It doesn't make any sense. So here's where we get into some crazy things about Russ McKamey. So he was actually facing second-degree attempted murder charges, rape charges, domestic violence after he was arrested on July 19th. At the time, police had said that he strangled women, and one of the women that he identified that he had assaulted was an old former girlfriend that he attacked, and all charges were dropped. They let all the charges go. And they did this because, I quote, after District Attorney General Brent Cooper personally reviewed the evidence we collected over the past 2 months and spoke with Mr. McKamey's accuser, who was present in person this morning, he decided to voluntarily and unconditionally dismiss all 4 charges against McKamey because the allegations had no merit whatsoever. General Cooper's diligence and professionalism in his decision is commendable, written by someone named Griffin. I personally said the truth would come out. General Cooper's unqualified decision should tell you everything that you need to know. So that's it. He was just let go. I personally do strongly believe that this is a torture chamber. So I want to know your opinions. What do you think? Do you think it's a torture chamber? Do you think it's normal? Would you go through it? What's your thoughts? Tell me everything that you think. And I will be back for another episode of Gore. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Be aware of your surroundings. And don't go to crazy torture chamber haunted houses. Have a great day. Thank you.